What's good, family? It's your man the YB back once again. So, as you can see on your screen right now, your man the YB has got his paws on some leaked exclusive training tapes, the only known training tapes of Mr. Anthony Johnstewart with his new trainer Robert GARCIA. So, listen, you man ain't gonna find this one nowhere. It's a leaked one. One of my doggies at Sky Sports. You might know what time it is, man. He sent it straight through to the YB. He said, "Listen, YB, I know you're still on Mr. Johnston's neck, but listen, you must have this tape right now. Yeah? Now, ain't gonna lie to you. There's obviously only clips here. Before all the AJ Man fans get on me, oh YB, there's only a little bit here. Listen, there's always only a little bit here. And what you man who keep shilling for AJ don't understand is, I've been telling you, man, since the Ruiz rematch that I don't need to hear about there's only a little bit of tape. I told you the signs were looking bad in the Ruiz rematch, and there was only a little bit of tape. Yeah? Stop making excuses. Little bit of tape or not, if your ish is sloppy, your ish is sloppy. Do you understand that? There's no matter a little bit of this and a little bit of that that's going to change your sloppy ass skills. Anyway, on a more positive note, I've got to be honest, from the little snippet I see here, Robert GARCIA is doing some of the key things I've been begging for someone to do with AJ. And we've all been, not just me, anyone who knows boxing has been saying, AJ needs to tighten up his leaky D. Yeah, AJ got one of the most leaky Ds I've ever seen in the game. Never seen defense like it. You can't even call it defense. For example, all the great boxers in history, in my opinion, they know how to keep themselves safe. They know, you can see them time and time again on the ropes, just tucked up, elbows in, chin down. Floyd Mayweather, you can see him on the ropes. Even when he's not shoulder rolling, you can see him. Oh, look at De La Hoya versus Mayweather. Floyd spent half the fight on the ropes, just elbows nice tucked in. Even people like Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner's bread and butter is being tucked up and taking shots. People like Mikey Garcia, when he fought Spence, he was completely outgunned, but he knew he could spoil the fight. He knew if all else fails, I can sit on the ropes and be safe and tuck up. AJ doesn't know how to do that. AJ was on the ropes against USYK, and just looking like he was going out all the way sad. He had no answers. He had no defense. I say that because at the start of the clip, now bear in mind, this is slowed down 50%, half speed, but I mean, it's not, I don't want to read too much into it, but obviously Robert GARCIA is practicing here. AJ catching the left hook. It looks like a right hook actually. Oh, of course, yeah, southpaw. So Robert GARCIA is imitating USYK's southpaw style, and he's getting AJ to catch the right hook. Now, I mean, it's training, I guess, but I'm just saying it's good to see that at least he's catching something. Very rarely you'll see AJ catch a shot. I've done videos in the past. Watch AJ Ruiz 1, and you'll see AJ's arms like this, bamboozled. No word of a lie. There's pictures of AJ in the Ruiz 1 fight. He's under pressure. Obviously, Ruiz throwing combinations, and you see AJ like this, just arms all over the place. So I'm just saying, I guess it's better than nothing. But even then, his elbows are a bit. Look at that. I'm thinking about actually scrap that. Wait there a minute. Let's watch this. So you see, look, his elbows still wide in the air. In fact, scrap that. He's doing the same thing he's always done. His elbows are like this. Look, like that. Body's wide open. Look at that. I'm sorry, I'm not saying I'm an expert, yeah, but when you're catching, look at people like Canelo. Yeah, whatever we say about Canelo, his defense is tight. That's what's made him. That's what enabled. That's why Canelo doesn't get stopped. He knows if all else fails, he can defend himself. You've shown me pictures of Canelo catching a shot and having his body wide open. You won't see it, because if he did, someone like Golovkin would have taken Canelo's ribs home with him. If Canelo was catching shots like this, with his body all open. Golovkin would throw a throwaway, you know, that overhand shot Golovkin does. He'd throw one of them overhand things, bring Canelo's arm up, and then dig some into the body, and Canelo would be folded over. Where are they doing this at? So I'm sorry, but AJ fans out there, where are they training people, to have their elbows right in the air like that? What are you catching there? When you catch a shot, your hands move like 3 inches. You don't need to. When you catch a shot, it's like that. Look, you covered half your head, 3 inches. You don't need to do this. That's what AJ doing. Look, pick his whole elbow up. His elbows are at 90 degrees. That's like that. You don't when you catch a shot, your elbows stay. So let's say your arms. Let's say you're orthodox, and you like that. Catch a shot. That provides you the same level of defense as that. Once you've got your positioning right, and bear in mind you've got big, huge gloves on as well. When you've got huge gloves on, you don't need to pick your whole elbow up like that. Your huge glove, you put it to your head there. Elbows in still. This guy doing the same things he's been doing. So I'm sorry, but I don't know. Hate to say it, but every single training that goes in, I thought for a second, at first glance, the fact that AJ was catching a shot, but he does that all the time. He knows how to catch a shot with leaky defense. And the problem is, it's not just, YB, you're nitpicking. The problem is, it's holes like that open up issues down the line. In as much as, in boxing, you want to make yourself smaller. You want to make yourself less of a target. So when you can catch a shot, when you can catch a shot to your head and maintain the defense to your body, you're closing doors off. You don't want to close one door by picking your hand up here and then open another one. That's how you get nervous. That's how you panic. Because you're like, it feels, when you're not defending yourself properly, it feels like the guy's everywhere. Because you're like, what the? I've just stopped one shot here and now he's digging my body. What's going on? He's everywhere. And watch AJ versus Ruiz 1. He looks like a deer in headlights because he can't work out. The man, it feels, when you're not defending yourself properly, it feels like you're fighting some sort of magician. What the fuck? I've just catched one shot and now he's touching my body. What do I do? Bad defense. The best people, you'll see it time and time again, elbows in tight and their hands are pitched in front of their head, right in front of their barnet. And you can essentially sit in that position and slide your arm up to catch that one, slide your arm up to catch that one, and in front of your face with parries. Canelo is probably one of the best recent examples of that. You'll see him with his high guard, he catching all the straight shots. Simple as that. And I've been saying this for years now. And unfortunately it appears they're doing the same amateur mistakes. And I believe, we know AJ's offense is solid. But great offense derives from great defense. And listen, AJ got away his whole career being great offensively. Until he didn't. Until someone like Ruiz was able to punch holes through his defense. Offense only gets you so far, as we've found out now. And unfortunately, as I've been saying from the Ruiz 1 fight, rather than go and fix AJ's real problems, like his ability to defend himself in the pocket, I've been saying that. I said, after the Ruiz 1 fight, AJ's team should have gone away and made himself a more effective inside fighter. Look at Errol Spence. When Errol Spence, is standing on top of someone, whipping his shots, tight defense. Tight defense is what enables you to catch and counter. Tight defense is what enables you to, or gives you the confidence to be able to throw combinations toe to toe, knowing my defense is tight and I'm not at risk here. AJ goes into the thick of things and he's just a sitting duck, gambling, isn't it? Let's be real now. When AJ fought Ruiz in the first fight, he was just gambling, gunslinging, wasn't he? And that's how it actually turned out. AJ went in there, put Ruiz down, and then just started gunslinging, and got clipped. That's what Leaky D does. You just gambling, hoping things work out. Top fighters, it's not a gamble. It's a science. Yes, science isn't 100%, but science, 9 times out of 10, it's working for you. And yeah, it's a small clip. I'm just telling you, these are the same. I'm seeing the same things, the same basics. These guys, yeah. This new trainer AJ's brought in, this Fernando guy, yeah. I mean, look at little bits like this here. You've got AJ doing all this complicated stuff like, jab, step, twist, and pivot, and who do you think you are? AJ is a 6'6", 250-pound man. He doesn't need to be moving like Lomachenko. Watch it. Just watch this. Watch it. And all this influence comes from Fernando, by the way. He thinks he's really deep. Look, watch this. AJ catches. So look. Watch AJ catch with his elbow in the air. Watch this. You can't really see it here, but essentially AJ just caught the shot, yeah, and his elbow's wide in the air. And now we're going to do some freaky look. Now we pivoting and trying to, I don't know, listen, if I'm wrong, if AJ's able to go in there and the thing is about pads, it's all contrived. The pad man, or bad, average to bad pad men will never hit you back. I noticed that about AJ. AJ's pad men ain't really trying to hit him back. They're doing his tappy stuff. In reality, when you do pad work, you want the guy to genuinely be trying to hit you. Not, okay, you go, then I'll go. Bad pad men treat it like a pad session. Okay, 1, 2 and I'll touch you. 1, 2, touch you. In reality, the pad you do, you want your pad man to literally be approaching it like they're a semi-sparring partner. 1, 2, quick reaction. You ain't seeing that. You're seeing contrived, orchestrated pad sessions still. Do any of you, man, think AJ gonna get these moves off? Okay, catch, cross, step, twist, pivot, step. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. But guess what, people? We know how this story ends. How do we know? Fernando has been in that camp for 2 years. Sorry, he got there in 2019. 3 years it's been now. AJ's had how many fights? Not being funny here. Pulev, 40-year-old, slow feet. How many times did you see AJ in there with a slow old man like Pulev doing these combinations and pivots and whatever else? Pulev, in fact, was a sitting duck. He was old and slow feet. And even then, what did we see AJ do? AJ went in there and started winging big huge shots. So now AJ's going in there, yeah, with a much quicker, younger, more intelligent fighter like USYK. And you think he's going to be getting these kind of things off here? You think he's going to be touching and crossing and stepping and weaving and do you think he's seriously? Fair enough, yeah. If we saw AJ go in there with Pulev, or even the other guy, who's the other guy? Who did he fight? He fought Pulev and someone else, didn't he? Was it USYK straight away? Maybe it was Pulev and then USYK. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, scrap it either way. Pulev. Or even Ruiz. Great example, Ruiz. AJ fought 2 of the most flat-footed fighters of this recent time. Pulev and Ruiz. One's old and one was so slow and heavy-footed. Why am I telling you that? Well, it begs the question, people. If you believe AJ is suddenly going to be able to pull off these 7-part high level, not even sure it's high level, but you know what I'm saying? If you think you're going to pull off these highly contrived sequences, where was it against Ruiz? Innit? Any of you man who've boxed will know, getting tricky footwork moves off is much easier with someone like Ruiz because their feet are so slow. When you fight someone who has quick feet, it's almost impossible to get them kind of things off because they just move, they'll just follow you, they'll just react to you. When someone's heavy-footed and slow, that's when you can do the movie stuff better to a higher extent. Now, how many angles did you see AJ give Ruiz? None. AJ was in there, the only thing he did was dance away. That's not the most low IQ thing a fighter can do, is dance away. That's all AJ did the whole night. Show me where you saw AJ step in, bang a combination and pivot off and show me it. Show me where you saw him doing all these twists and turns. You didn't. You didn't see it against Mr. Blobby, and you didn't see it against Mr. 50-year-old Pulev. So what makes you think you're going to pull it off against one of the most high IQ and one of the quickest fighters AJ has ever fought? In fact, I'm going to say it now. USYK will have the quickest feet AJ has ever fought. And you think AJ is going to be essentially dancing circles? The 250-pound man is going to dance circles around the higher IQ, quicker footed USYK. What are they doing here? The game plan is simple. Super simple. No angles. You don't need angles for this fight. If you want angles, you should have tried that crap on Ruiz. Mr. Static, Mr. Stuck in the Mud. That's who you can, if you want to test things out, test angles out on Ruiz. See how you get on. You don't think you're going to bring angles to the USYK fight. You just don't, especially after you lost the first one. You was doing all this frilly crap in the first fight, and I get it. As someone who is low IQ like AJ, he hears his goofy trainers telling things like, oh yeah, we're going to do these special, super duper special combinations. And it feels good. It feels good on the pads to do it. Oh look, I'm dancing. I'm like Ali. I'm like Lomachenko, innit? That's what they think. You think, oh, you can feel it yourself. Oh look, I'm doing this, I'm moving. But that's all well and good on the pads. It's a whole different ball game. The minute someone's actually in front of you, it doesn't work. It doesn't. It'll never go like that. It'll never go that smoothly. Where you're stepping in and twisting and rolling. It's never going to go like that. The pad man is literally trying to hit your glove. Your opponent's never going to be banging his head into your glove, so forget about it. Pads should be as realistic as possible, and there's nothing realistic AJ doing right there. Not to mention, the same basics are wrong. I've been saying this for a while now. Fernando, he focused on all the wrong things. He trying to turn AJ into some Lomachenko knockoff. Why aren't you focusing on nice and tight defense? Like similar to Canelo, watching what's coming back, applying pressure, stepping forward, cutting the ring off, tight defense, and just banging away. Look at Chisora. What did Chisora do against USYK? He went in there with half a gas tank. He applied pressure. That's all there is to this game. Maybe add some slips and some rolls. Elbows in tight, chin down. We're going forward. We're driving a jab forward. We ain't taking no step back. Go back and watch Canelo versus Golovkin 2. We ain't taking a step back tonight. We're going to stand in the centre of the ring and we're coming forward with super tight defense. At the most, we can add some rolls and some slips if you need to, if you must. Straightforward. Elbows in nice and tight, and we're going to apply pressure and bang away. Get on top of him and bang away. Punch with him. If we have to take one to give one, that's what we'll do. We're going to bet on ourselves. We're going to bet that every left hook he hits us with, we're going to hit him with one. And we're going to bet on ourselves. And it sounds, oh, you're so simple, but what are we doing here? What are we doing here? The key element of that strategy is tight defense, and his defense is leaky still. His body's wide open. Elbows are flared in the air like this. Where are they doing that at? You focus on all this dancey prancy crap. Again, I don't understand what's going on here. This camp should be super simple. Go back and watch Canelo's kind of things. You see him, his arms are in tight like this, and 90% of the time, that's how you see him. That's as simple as it is, people. Tight, and you're banging. Yeah? Big heavy shots. 2 3-punch combinations at a time. I wouldn't bother doing more than that. 2 3-punch combinations. Like a metronome. Cut the ring off. Bang away. Reset. Cut the ring off. Bang away. Reset. That's the kind of fight I believe AJ wins. Anything else, he's going to lose in my opinion. And it worries me, YB, you've only seen clips. Yeah, people, I'm telling you, these are the same clips we've been seeing for 3 years, and he's gone downhill. I was hoping with Garcia in the camp, he would have taken the reins and said, listen, Fernando, all that frilly crap, you think you can do something, ain't gonna do nothing. Sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Let's focus on the basics here. I wouldn't mind, honestly, if AJ, had conquered the basics. He was A1 at basics. I'd say, yeah, man, wicked. If you want to throw some experimental thing in there, great. Your basics are leaky. The other day, against Pulev, I did a video. AJ was in there against Pulev, just winging huge shots with zero accuracy. Again, the basics. Apply smart pressure. Don't waste anything. AJ was literally throwing 10 shots and half would miss, if not more. Half would literally miss, and then the other 30% would be on target, but hitting the guard. And then maybe one shot would get through. AJ was landing 10% of his actual shots. What's that about? Go in there, lower the output and be accurate. All this frilly pads, I'm doing the rotating combinations. Forget about that. And Canelo wasn't great, but I like Canelo's strategy. Canelo goes in there, and yes, he loads up too much. I think one shot at a time is not enough. For AJ, it should be 2 or 3, but I don't think hitting the arm, is a bad strategy for someone like USYK, who is the way he is. You go in there in the early rounds. If I was training AJ, our plan would be we go in there and in the first 2-3 rounds, just hit something. Just score something. Not if you can't get the head, so be it. If you have to hit the shoulder, when you're a 250-pound man and you're hitting someone's shoulder, that's how we set the foundation. Let's build our foundation from there. If we have to hit his arms, so be it. Aim for the arms, aim for the chest area. And then, after round 3, we can start then soften. Now we've got our rhythm down. Now we've got our, we're letting out. We've got our rhythm going. We've got our output going. Now we can start looking to make actual head and clean body shot damage. That's what my strategy would be. These cats here, I haven't seen nothing that tells me that they've got that same kind of vibe. And to the contrary, he dancing around some more. But listen, we'll find out. We'll soon find out what time it is, 100%.